Today, South Korea's spy agency saying North Korea has dispatched troops to support Russia's war against Ukraine. Now, if confirmed, according to the Associated Press, the move would bring a third country into the war and intensify a standoff between North Korea and the West here. Let's talk about this and more. I want to bring into the conversation my colleague, Austin Westfall, here in the LiveNOW newsroom, and, of course, our friend, national security analyst and expert and retired Marine intelligence officer, Hal Kempfer. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us, especially on this Friday here. Hal, I want to start with you. We've known for a while North Korea had been providing at least materiel, munitions, technical support to Russia. In return, Russia was sending also something in return to North Korea. Remember, Putin and Kim, they met this summer here. This has taken it to a whole new level. What does this mean for the war itself, that you have thousands of North Korean troops amassing in the east of Russia to get on the battlefield in Ukraine? Would you have seen that scenario 2.5 years ago, Hal?
Andrew, probably not 2.5 years ago, but if you were to say that I've seen it a year ago, there were indications. You know, first off, you're seeing this massive amount of ammunition, weapons being shipped from North Korea into Russia, being used in Ukraine, actually in some categories of ammunition like artillery rounds, playing a pretty decisive role in filling gaps in the Russian inventory. But then you started to see some other things, and there was some speculation, some thought that North Korean troops could end up going to fight. So I wasn't completely, I mean, there's really not much that holds North Korea back from doing something like this. And certainly nothing that holds back Russia from doing this. And so now you're seeing them. And of course, the satellite photos are pretty clear. There are thousands of North Koreans, and I would say thousands at this point is pretty much a consensus agreement. Training in Russia at military bases. There are reports that there are some North Korean troops that actually were deployed just outside of Ukraine, still in Russia, and they deserted. And the reason they have that is because they picked up on that the Russians are out there trying to pick up these deserters.
Is this North Korea's first time ever participating in a foreign war like this? We don't see them doing stuff like this often, Hal.
Austin, it really isn't. I mean, it's not something you normally see. Look, they're called the Hermit Kingdom for a reason. They're all stuck on on North Korea. He doesn't normally like to let he has a difficult time sending diplomats overseas without, with the great fear that they'll try and defect. It's been a real challenge for him because, well, North Korea is in desperate economic, social situation. And they have this immense fortification down the DMZ, mostly to keep South Korea out. Theoretically, it's more to keep probably North Koreans in, and so they don't normally send troops overseas. They have done some things. I've never seen anything on this scale. One of the interesting things, though, is the first reports were North Korean Special Forces. And they are a rather unusual organization. They're almost like, it sounds strange because these guys are communists, but they're almost like martyrdom operations. One of the things that we would see for years is that they would go into South Korea as part of a graduation exercise in Special Forces, that they would literally infiltrate into South Korea. And if they were caught, they would kill themselves. In fact, there's a very famous case where they were in a mini sub, and the mini sub basically ran aground, and it appears that the North Korean commandos killed the submarine crew, and then killed everybody in there to avoid capture. That's some pretty hardcore dedication. Those are some of the first guys that are our first North Korean soldiers that are going in, and they could cause some serious mayhem just because of their determination.
So, Hal, a little bit more on this from the Associated Press. They say this South Korean announcement today came a day after Ukrainian leader Zelensky said his government has intelligence that 10,000 troops from North Korea are being prepared to join Russian forces fighting against his country. I asked you what that looks like. We do have some details. The North Korean soldiers deployed in Russia, they've been given Russian military uniforms, weapons and forged identification documents. Also, South Korean intelligence officials saying that they're currently staying at military bases in Vladivostok and other Russian sites on Russia's eastern coast here. I want to ask you, though, Hal, what is the United States' response going to be? If there's another belligerent entering into this war, won't we have to respond in some way? We are hearing from some lawmakers. Mike Turner, he's a Republican congressman from Ohio. He's the chairman, Hal, of the House Intelligence Committee. He says this, and he sent a letter. He says in this letter to the Biden-Harris administration, why has the administration failed to actively brief Congress about the movement of North Korean troops into Russia? He says, today I sent a letter to President Biden demanding his administration give the House Intelligence Committee answers and that the use of North Korean troops against Ukraine there as well. But in the meantime, Hal, I just want to ask, what will our response be, if any?
Well, our response could be interesting. As you mentioned, they're basically pretty much disguising them to look like Russian soldiers, taking away their ID cards and everything else. And part of that is because I think their assumption is that a lot of these guys are going to be killed on the battlefield, and they want to have some shred of plausible deniability that they're actually North Korean troops. So they're doing that. The question will be, will our response, and I'll tell you the logical response would be that we suddenly decide, yes, that Ukraine can use the Western supplied long-range weapons to hit targets further into Russia. That would be the big thing that's on the table. I got to tell you, this thing's been moving so fast in terms of the information flowing out. I don't know how long through classified means that the administration has known about this or could have briefed Congress.
I see.
It's now in the unclassified realm, and certainly, a reasonable thing that a congressman would say is, why haven't I heard about this? And I'm not surprised to see the letter, because usually before these things show up in the world press, there's things that we picked up on well in advance. And so that might be something there might be some righteous ire in Congress. I imagine in the election season, it'll come from one side of the aisle, but there's probably some frustration on the other side of the aisle too.
Could there be anything for us to learn from this? Is there any chance that we get a small peek perhaps into what North Korean forces are capable of?
Well, they are disciplined. They're how do I put this nicely? They're brainwashed is basically what it is. This is a country that has no outside input. They only know what they've been told. And so what you're going to see is some level of fanaticism on the battlefield, which is exactly what Russia needs. Now, I'll tell you what's kind of in the background here is, you may have seen this last week, that North Korea made a big announcement that they had recruited, mobilized 1.2 to 1.4 million troops into their military. And now I don't know if those numbers are ground truth accurate. That's just what they're saying. But the question was, why do you suddenly need to mobilize this many troops? Why do you need to create this huge standing army when you have basically no economy to support that standing military force? Which makes me wonder if that wasn't part of what they're doing now. Now we're seeing about 12,000, maybe up to 15,000 troops that are in the pipeline to go into Ukraine.
Right.
Kind of makes me wonder if they have something bigger in mind. And if they do have something bigger in mind, I think then you're going to see a much stronger, not just U.S., but a stronger NATO response, because now you have an Asian country sending large amounts of not just ammunition and weapons, but actual physical troops into Europe to fight a land war in Europe. And that changes things. I'm also going to be watching what China does.
Oh, yeah.
China cannot be thrilled about this at all. This is putting them in a very difficult situation.
Yeah, the Associated Press, just to button up your point here, in their copy, they say this: North Korea has 1.2 million troops, and the clause right after this is one of the largest standing militaries in the world, but they say it has not fought in large-scale conflicts since the Korean War from 1950 to 1953. Hal, while we have you, Austin as well, we do have a live picture there. In Jerusalem at the moment, of course, we do want to do a follow-up to really one of the biggest stories of the week, the death of the Hamas leader and October 7th mastermind, Yahya Sinwar.